Every single year, the global medical industry spends roughly $4.5 trillion. To put that scale into perspective, that is 5 times the cost of all global military operations combined. And yet, despite funneling unimaginable resources into this one goal, the industry regularly struggles to beat the efficacy of a literal sugar pill. Modern medicine relies on a reductionist approach, seeking an isolated chemical mechanism to destroy a specific symptom. Under this model, new chemotherapy drugs can reach the market by proving only a 10% efficacy rate. Placebo sugar pills, however, often show a 30% efficacy rate in clinical trials. This happens because the human nervous system governs healing through internal regulation. When a patient believes they are being supported, the body initiates its own biological repair. A trillion-dollar system that loses to sugar suggests a misunderstanding of the problem. We have treated the body as a machine with isolated, broken parts, rather than an integrated whole. Dr. Zack Bush was a product of this rigid world. He spent 17 years in academic medicine, working 100-hour weeks and carrying $200,000 in debt. He viewed personal value through the lens of self-sacrifice, even when it meant running his own biology into the ground. His worldview shattered during a clinical trial for a new chemotherapy drug he had developed. After a 45-minute pitch to a patient, she asked him, "What do these 6 capsules have to do with the reason I have cancer?" He realized no case of cancer has ever been caused by a lack of chemotherapy. The physical collapse of this mindset came on February 10, 2010. Despite having torn chest muscles from a fall, Dr. Bush insisted on driving to the hospital during a 16-inch snowstorm. He valued the abstract requirements of his job over his immediate physical reality. While driving at 60 miles per hour, his body experienced conflicting signals. Intense pain triggered a stress response, while the car's heater triggered a sudden dilation of blood vessels. His blood pressure plummeted, and he passed out at the wheel. He woke up submerged in a river, climbed back to the highway, and encountered a state trooper. In a state of shock, he viewed the trooper as a gatekeeper to the afterlife and began frantically reciting his professional resume as proof of his worth. It took a violent, near-death event to override his neurology. The crisis forced him to drop his abstract professional identity and return entirely to his physical, sensory body. Dr. Bush began to view the human nervous system as the most complex receiver in nature. In this paradigm, the body acts as an antenna, designed to process massive amounts of biological information from its environment. We are walking ecosystems. The human colon alone contains roughly 40,000 unique species of bacteria and fungi, creating more biodiversity per cubic centimeter than a coral reef. These microbes produce carbon-based redox molecules that function like wireless signals. They transmit data between cells, instructing the body on how to pull nutrients from food and repair the tight junctions of the gut lining. Modern sterilization, through antibiotics and agricultural chemicals, has wiped out this communication network. The biological signals that maintain our internal environment have gone silent. Without these signals, the gut's tight junctions lose cohesion and drift apart. This leads to a leaky gut that can no longer distinguish between vital nutrients and toxins. The result is biological starvation in the midst of abundance. The food is present, but the internal Wi-Fi required to process it has been disconnected. Our biology also relies on the fascia, a continuous web of connective tissue. The water held within this tissue exists in highly structured crystalline networks. The physical act of movement compresses the structured water, generating an instant electrical charge called the piezoelectric effect. This charge moves through the body at the speed of light, carrying information faster than any chemical signal. We operate as walking, aquatic ecosystems, organized into a high-speed electrical grid. This grid requires constant physical friction to function and maintain its health. This biological entanglement contrasts sharply with the artificial intelligence we are currently building. While machines process data in sterile, ordered environments, life requires friction. Machines operate on binary logic, requiring a clear 1 or 0 to reach a decision. Human consciousness, however, thrives on phase shifting, the capacity to hold infinite, contradictory emotions simultaneously without seeking a binary outcome. Modern society often removes natural physical friction, placing children in abstract, machine-like environments. This lack of sensory interaction and microbial diversity leads to profound cellular chaos. If a child's developing neurology is placed in a sterile, digital environment, devoid of soil microbes or complex physical play, the brain interprets that lack of friction as a threat to biological growth. In this context, rising autism rates represent a biological refusal to conform to an abstract system, a neurology demanding the tangible and the sensory. The modern crisis of disconnection reflects our human neurology rebelling against a 200-year attempt to live as machines. Reconnecting requires a return to our biological edges. For children, this means replacing abstract programming with experiential learning in untamed environments, where they can interact with the physical friction of nature. For adults, the solution involves reintroducing ancient carbon molecules from fossil soils. These molecules act as a liquid circuit board, restoring the gut's communication network and repairing the body's primary barriers. This restoration allows us to find regulation not by escaping reality, but by engaging with it. It is the ability to hold the entirety of our complex physical experience without judgment. Dr. Bush noted that hospice patients often find this state naturally. When the abstraction of the future is gone, they stop rushing and find transcendent ecstasy in simple, mundane moments, like watching the steam rise from a cup of coffee. You don't need a crisis to wake up. Treat your messy, physical biology as your highest technology. Turn the volume of your life all the way up and touch the infinite today.